Hey, do you want to play games for a good cause? Join Extra Life, a community of 50,000 gamers all over the world who play games to heal kids at Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Find out more at extra-life.org.
Good luck.
What's up, Tutorinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am this podcast player one, Brando, and joining me here today is this podcast player two, Mike.
Oh, hello.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 100 of the podcast. Holy cow. Holy cow. We did it. It might be. It could be. It is. 100. I can't believe it, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you are on Twitch, thank you so much. I haven't even checked up any sort of comments. Journey to Comics, thank you for watching so much. Humble beginnings indeed. Thank you for the congratulations, Nate, so much. Thanks to you for getting us even started on this journey. Whew, man, so let me just say that just even, the stress level, I can't wait till we can get big enough to have a small crew to run this.
That would be great.
Because here I am.
That would go great.
Here I am on this side of things, clicking this thing, clicking that thing, making sure we're not getting seen yet. All the little small things that you take for granted. But today is
episode 1000. That's what we're shooting for.
That is shooting for 1000. I even good old our good friend Dick says, "Nice glasses, Mike."
You like those?
You
like them?
He called you effing nerd.
You're one to talk.
Yeah. Anyway, a Blaine has no voice, right?
It's true.
On the, he is what was it? The faceless, the mini Facebook.
The mini Facebook.
God of the mini Facebook.
He's the non-god of mini Facebook.
Right. He got Blaine. He got banned. Blaine got banned. I almost said blamed.
He got blanded.
He
got blanded.
He got blanded. So, yeah. So it's on today's 100, guys. We're going to be looking back and reminiscing about our own show. It's almost a retrospective on our own show, but we're also talking about the Wii and the Wii U. We're going to be doing a retrospective on that. Some of our favorite games, we're going to talk about the history, the launch, how many units it sold, all that jazz. And of course, we're going to be talking about our favorite memories of getting the systems, owning the systems, playing the systems, what games. I brought a whole stack of games, some of the best games that you should get for it. Also, a few extra that are really fun. So we're going to be going through all of that. But first and foremost, we've got to get through some of our own stuff. Mike, 100 episodes and counting.
Yes.
I definitely want to thank you, first and foremost, for even agreeing to entertain this wacky idea that I had to do a gaming show. I
didn't really think it was that wacky because pretty much how we described it was, well, we're just doing what we normally do.
You were right. All right.
So.
And it really is. And that's how the best podcasts are always sort of, brought about. And that is just from talking about how you would like stuff you would normally talk about. On the very first podcast that I was on, Journey to Comics, right? That whole thing started with him. And then I came on board and we're trying to find out stuff to talk about. Well, so then we just started talking about stuff that we would talk about during band practice.
Right.
The show became our chit chat and chatter that we would get yelled at for having at band practice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, shut up and play music. Oh. It's like, holy crap, we can record this and people want to hear it. Well, and the best podcasts are that, Our show is like that. Podcastrophy is like that.
Yep.
Where these two dudes or more sitting down talking about stuff. And it's talking about stuff that you normally talk about, because then that inherently brings in chemistry and how you talk to each other. When you and I are at work and we're talking about like stuff that's going on in the gaming world, we have a flow.
Yep.
We have a way that we talk to each other about it. We have our jokes. And then when you put it together with a microphone, it can be intimidating. And I got to say, I am very, very happy and proud on how far you've come.
Yeah.
And being comfortable at that.
Yeah. I was
mean,
not comfortable at all.
Anybody who watches the live streams or watches any of our old, video era, he twitches a lot.
Yeah. A
so
lot,
much
a
he
lot.
fidgets.
If you watch, I'll bounce a little bit because I move my feet.
Okay, so Jesse the Body Ventura. Okay?
Yeah.
He was a wrestler, right?
Right.
After he was a Navy SEAL, he became a wrestler of all things, right?
Badass.
I know. So but then after he kind of had to retire from in-ring, he became an announcer. And if you ever watch tapes, like old videos like I do, and I'm like obsessive about stuff and looking at little things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't really see him on there too much, but when he went to another company, they had the announce table at ringside. And he would just be like, he'd be doing this.
Yeah.
He'd have the headset on, and he's just rocking because he gets nervous. And well, it's not so much that he's nervous to be doing it; he's very comfortable, but he's nervous to be sitting in the same spot. It's almost like it's
that's kind of how I am.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not doing something, like if I'm not gaming or
Mm-hmm.
actively watching something, like I'm sitting here listening to you talk, I naturally rock. It just happens.
Well, and some of that, and I don't know. I mean, this is just me riffing. Maybe that's something ingrained in the mind, sort of from military, where you're just like,
Nah, I've been doing that long.
Have you been that way?
That's
okay.
ADHD.
Okay, good, because that's me too. And I'm like,
ADHD.
I'm thinking maybe it's military, and then I'm like, well, maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. It's not. Maybe it's me. But guys, we got so many things to talk about today, of course. But Mike, doing this show for 100 episodes, did you think we'd ever get to 100?
Yes.
You did?
I
Good.
did.
Good, because I'm glad somebody did. I did too. It's that long trek. When we first started the show, a long, long time ago, in a podcasting world like far, far away, we first started the show as a spinoff of that first show that I was on, Journey into Comics.
Right.
And this is before we even had bigger aspirations. It was just on YouTube. I was doing YouTube stuff. I was really the only one using the YouTube channel.
Unofficially, our first one was a Journey into Comics.
Yes, it was a Brando cast, right?
Yep.
You and Nick Torres were on.
Yep.
And it was like Surgeon Crispy M&Ms.
Yep.
That was almost like the pilot.
Yes.
And back then, when I just had one condenser mic.
I miss those M&Ms. I know they're out.
They're out everywhere.
I know.
And now they have minty ones.
I know.
But they're not
just now that you said that, I'm like, man.
But they're
who was some crispy M&Ms?
They're like little thin mint M&Ms. I haven't tried them.
Oh, we gotta try those.
We do.
Thin mint M&Ms.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta try those.
Yeah. All right. So I was the only one really doing anything on the YouTube channel. The main podcast wasn't there yet,
right?
As far as I remember, or at least I was starting to maybe roll that out there. But I was making like pickup videos when I was gaming and doing stuff, and I just used that as an outlet, as a subdivision of that main podcast.
Right.
So we decided, hey, let's start some other podcasts that are more focused on certain things because we can't talk about everything all the time on the main podcast.
Right.
So we had one all about movies and food, foodies watching movies. We had wrestling, Journey to Wrestling, and Game Addicts podcast. We took so long to name this podcast because every stinking podcast was taken.
Everyone that we were coming up with was like, nope.
Yes.
Nope.
So I'm going to look up something right here like on the fly because I am sure, 100% sure, positive, that the Game Addicts podcast, the name that we chose, was taken by somebody else. Not Game Addicts Podcast, podbean.com/Game Addicts. I'm pretty sure it was.
Really?
Because, so podbean.com/Game Addicts. Because originally we were just going to be Game Addicts. Oh, it's error. Maybe they're not there anymore.
We can take the slash and we can slash out podcasts.
Well, okay. No, the thing is that now that's kind of just become a designation for we have Game Addicts Play, we have Game Addicts Podcast, we have Game Addicts Plus every single Sunday.
Maybe I'll be on this one.
Maybe over on Facebook Live for each and every one of you over there.
The Book of Many Faces.
The Book of Many Faces. No, and we will not get bland.
No bland here.
We will not get bland.
And all of Bland's content has to be pre-screened.
Unfortunately, maybe, because now that's early in the episode, it's a good point to mention that. Before I move on with my story, next Saturday, not this coming, but next, November 3rd, me and Mike, right here on this channel.
These guys right here.
Yeah, us two. Oh, wait, I didn't do the names. Guess what? Us two.
These right here.
Yeah. At Game Addicts Play over there on Twitch, we will be streaming for the Extra Life stream, charity stream right up there. Got it right here. You might have seen the video.
I totally thought we were getting a fusion hall right there. When you went like this, I was like, I need to do it.
So we will be streaming for at least 12 hours, 8 to 8. It's now our original plans might be up in the air with the whole Fallout beta.
Yeah, because now, so with the Fallout beta stuff to Spiderweb.
We're Spiderwebbing all over the place. Let's go for it.
Okay, Bethesda. Why only a 2-hour block? 2 times for each console. I'm
Is
asking.
that what it is? Well, I mean, we don't know yet. We don't.
Well, because right now, last night, they had a 2-hour block.
Was it 2 or 4? Because it was 7 to 11.
I think it was a
4-hour
4-hour block. And then on Saturday, it's only going to be a 2-hour block. And that's pretty much all that they've announced.
Sunday, PS4 will start.
Yep, Sunday, PS4 will start. So that means that Sunday will be a 4-hour test.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Which means you'll be able to play the whole thing.
Right, but here's the biggest problem. We were going to schedule that to be in on the 3rd. Now that it's starting, 2 days early now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 days early. I don't know if it's going to... I don't think we're going to catch it.
Well, so, of course, as we said, we had a backup plan, just in case.
Yes.
So, I have games. I have a PlayStation exclusive I haven't played. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
And you have a PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, from the PS3 era.
So Horizon Zero Dawn is going to get thrown in the mix. Uncharted is going to get thrown into the mix. We're already playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which is coming out this week. And probably going to be trying some Forza Horizon 4, because I have that downloaded on the console via Game Pass.
And I have yet to play it, and I want to play it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I am actually kind of enjoying it. Is it probably the best? I mean, because I'm not the one to judge.
Right.
No, but I'm having fun with it, and at the end of the day, that's what counts.
It's going to be interesting to see how the open world works exactly, because it looked intriguing, but it also just looked like an old ATV off-road Fury with, the
open world
Forza.
The open world so far, it not online, because I'm not playing online.
Right.
For the main story mode, you have to travel to cross the map to get to certain events and do stuff.
Right.
When you're online, I don't know, because I don't have live, and I'm not getting live before extra live.
So I don't get to try it on live.
No.
Damn.
Unless you want to pay for my live.
No.
I don't blame you.
No.
But no, Extra Life, I'm really, really excited to be a part of it, because it's something I've wanted to do for a few years, but it's even more so now that it's kind of hit close to home with a couple of people that I know who have kids that are going through cancer treatments. One that I went to high school with, that hit close, and then one that is a friend of Caitlin's, my wife's. She is going through it as well. And then actually, I want to say the hospital she's going to is the one that we are connected with, Riley, through Indianapolis. So we have an Extra Life page that I actually need to work on and get our story put up and why we're doing it and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we're doing it because we want to help kids.
Yes.
And we want to help those families. First, I mean, that should be obvious. But I mean, I want to get all that up there. I have a link. Our goal for this year is pretty modest for how little our Twitch channel is at this point. We're just starting. We've only been streaming really condensed, really good streaming for about a month, if that, since I got the laptop. So, I mean, we're slowly growing rung by rung, and we're gonna get bigger. But I feel like next year, let's go even more. Let's try even more, because the bigger we get, the more that we can get eyes on us, the more that we can try and raise even more money. So Extra Life is happening November 3rd, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. here, and then I'm probably going to go home and sleep, wake up, and then do
Put
some
on a
more
little
else
makeup.
because I wanted to, and then continue on Sunday, whether I'm playing more Red Dead or what, because I'm going to be all over Red Dead, trust me. That game comes out in a few days. But anyways, let's go Spiderweb. Back to the original thing. We started on a YouTube channel, on the Journey to Comics YouTube channel, as a show that was airing about once or twice a month. So now we air every single week. We did that from beginning of April until roundabouts of December was the last one. December is when we launched our new feed.
Yes.
And then in January, we went from week to week, and we pretty much almost kept that.
December 28th?
December 28th, or it was like early January was like the very first episode.
Yeah.
After that, we were like week to week to week to week until like we missed a few due to family emergencies, or there's been a couple of best ofs in there when we absolutely couldn't make a show. And then what?
Blaine texted me.
What does Blaine have to say?
They keep messaging in our group, and it popped up. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this in
silenced it because
that's what I just did. And Blaine's
show.
like, get out of here, fucking nerd. Like,
Anyway, so what we're going to do is take a look back, and I have a couple of clips that we're going to play from the show throughout the years. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't gone back to hear the very original, the rough stuff of our show, well,
and you can hear me moving around so much.
Well, remember, I had that one condenser mic, and we were sitting like this, but even closer with the mic right here.
Yep.
So, like, as I'm going away from my mic, right, so that way you guys can hear us. But it was right here, and then we just had to, like, talk like this, and it was a powerful son of a bitch, and they could hear a mouse fart.
Yes, and I'm still working on the staying in the cone.
I mean, I kind of am too. I feel like I'm a little bit better now. It's
just hard when here's the camera, and then when we're talking, we always talk to each other, so you have to make sure that you pivot.
All right, guys, so here's this clip from the very first episode. I'm gonna cue that up and mute our mics, and we'll be right back right after these messages. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Game Addicts podcast, exclusively right here on the Journey to Comics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Brando, here with the incomparable Mike Norris. How's it going, Mike?
Pretty good. How you doing?
It's going pretty good. It's been a good day. It's been a bit of a long day. We just got done with work, but now we're here recording the first episode of the Game Addicts podcast. Essentially, guys, this is the second spinoff going up on our channel now. Of course, we had Journey into Wrestling. We covered everything WrestleMania. Go check that out if that interests you. And this is all about gaming. It's modern stuff, retro stuff, all the stuff that we're into, some collecting stuff, that kind of stuff. So essentially what we decided to do is just sit back, relax, and talk about some news that's going on, stuff that we pretty much talk about anyways, but I've been withholding stuff from you.
Right.
And not having actual conversation with you about this stuff for the last little while.
Well, we haven't worked together for a while, so.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. But there's actually been one thing that I could have talked about last week, but I didn't. Uh-oh. And it's something that I just remembered I forgot to add, put on the list, actually. So I actually need to find that really quick. I don't need to find it because I can just riff off the top of my head. But basically, we're going to go right into some news flashes off the top of the show. We're going to go right in the news. We're not going to waste any time. Basically, news flash segment's going to be anything I find deemed newsworthy.
Right. Whether it's modern, retro, anything about gaming that just sort of comes through. It's not going to be everything because obviously it's too much. Yeah. But I'm going to nitpick some stuff and kind of go through it. But essentially, oh my goodness. Thanks. Thanks, hon. I told my wife we started recording, and she sent me a picture of my baby son's sort of diaper after he has destroyed it. Anyway, that just threw me all off. Oh, guys. So that is the very first few minutes of our very first episode. Yeah. Started off a little shitty. Yeah. A little shitty is understatement. Well, and going through some of these clips, I try to bounce around. There's a few key clips that we wanted to talk about, a few key clips that we wanted to air. Right.
One of them, and I had to really choose because I wanted to do like the very first episode, and I wanted to do something more current, so I had to pick a couple that were in between, and I didn't want to do too many of them because we're doing the Wii U stuff. We're gonna be doing all that. So what I decided to do, I had to pick between one or two big long running themed jokes here on the podcast.
Yeah.
One of them is how much like I hate how they did Final Fantasy 15. And how they released a movie that you have to watch first to understand the world before you because I was like so far in, and I'm just like, what is this group? And then you find out in the movie. The other thing was your mishap on another retrospective by forgetting what system a certain game was on.
Yes.
So I'm like, I looked at both of them. I'm like, I think this one's funnier because it's funnier for the rushers for your mistake. That one's funny when you watch it because you see me just.
What'd you say?
I'm like, that's not on that system. Yeah, it is. No. Horse claps, horse hooves. Look it up. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I chose episode 13, which is our very first episode that we ever did video on. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell. I mean, we're not perfect yet. We've got some lighting. It's jank. It's falling apart. You know, it's glaring on the Zelda poster.
And we've got the sunlight here.
The sunlight's disappearing on us.
Right.
So you're going to get all darker here after a bit. But this was with no lighting. This was cramped in my game room. Yeah. And this was with like I thought I thought that camera was absolute crap, but then I realized if you just light it well, it's actually not that bad.
Lighting's everything.
Lighting is everything. So what we're going to do, folks, is that we are going to queue up this next clip on how much I'm frustrated with Final Fantasy 15. So this is from episode 13, and we're going to go ahead and take that away. But I have not played Final Fantasy 15 pretty much. When you made me watch Kingsglaive, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It did piss me off.
I knew it would.
It really pissed me off. From everyone that I'm hearing of, you know, and seeing online, that 15 is actually a pretty good game, and I will not take anything away from the gameplay. I think it plays great.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think it's a fantastic game. I'm just frustrated with their detail on the story that got released in the $60 version of the game that I bought, and I will not finish the game until they finish the game.
Yeah, I don't know if they finished or not. I haven't really, like I said, I haven't been
following
with it. So I don't know. I know that at chapter 13, the general consent is it sucks. It sucks. And up to this point, I'm on chapter 11. Well, starting chapter 12, and the story is very vague. If you take Kingsglaive out, it is very vague. It is just, hey, you're going here. You didn't even know that you were forced to be married. It was just like, hey, you're going to go meet your betrothed, but no backstory on why you've been betrothed.
Right.
It's just nothing. It's just, hey.
I mean, there's several aspects of Kingsglaive that aren't needed. Like, there's like the whole side story about what's the main character's name? You know, I almost want to call him Kit, but this isn't Knight Rider.
It's another N name. I can't remember.
Knit, Knock. No, that's Knock. Is Nick Knock.
It's not me.
Nick Knack.
Niche or so I don't know. It's another N name. I think he's a much better developed character.
See, I was kind of thinking the same way.
Knock is just kind of like he's a kid. I mean, up to the point I'm at, he's actually he's being forced to grow up, or he has the option to grow up, and he's still struggling with himself to do so. So, in the movie, it's completely different. That character is just some random character. He's the hero of the fight.
Just a random soldier. He's like a badass soldier. He's almost like Cloud.
Yeah, he is.
Or
he's a bad
Zack, if you will.
Say Zack.
But I mean, he's just a badass soldier in the Kingsglaive.
Everybody knows him because he's done a couple of major deeds, and then he does that, like sticking his neck out to where like he's about ready to die. He should have died or someone else should have died, and he saved other people. Like, it actually opens up with him saving somebody, and he's like, "Get out of here, hero!" You know, like they're making fun of him because he's always got to be the hero.
Yeah.
He can't just. He's very selfless. So, and then when you see in the later on, it develops. You see that his character is very strong. Is very developed. You get a backstory, and whether it's through slight memories, but you still get a backstory. You get something of him, and then where he's going in the future. And in 15, you don't really get that with Knock. It's just, hey, you know, you're 18. Hey, dude, go out on your own.
I'm the prince, and then suddenly my dad died, but we don't know exactly. What is the Empire? Who is the Empire?
I mean, I know from playing, you know, all the other ones, but. Like, well, I mean, when I say all the other ones, I mean like the online ones. The Empire is a specific group that cannot harness magic, and so they use.
But I'm talking like within the universe that they built within 15 itself, because every game is its own universe. They have similarities. But what I'm talking about is who and what. What's the origin of this group? And I don't need to know all of it. Okay, I don't need to know this. But what I'm telling you is that within the first 10 hours of FF7, I know who Shinra is.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, see, and that's the thing, is that the movie and the Kingslave explain
a little bit more about
who they are.
Who that is. And they did it within the first 2 minutes. Yep. The first 30 seconds of the damn movie. And that, you know, that's the first thing I knew was like, it's not going to be good.
I told you, right? When I said, when you watch this, you're going to be pissed. Right from the beginning, you're going to be pissed.
But you know what? When they finally update it, I'm not going to give up on the game, because I do want to play it and I do want to finish it. And, you know, part of me wanted to go back and play 13, because 13 is a game that I couldn't get into, and I'm like, well, maybe this is better. You know? But you know what? No, I went back and started playing Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, and I beat it, sort of. I beat it, sort of. It cut off.
Beat it, sort of.
So, no, if you guys are watching that, no, your eyes aren't deceiving you. The audio and video was visibly off. When I went to go grab this clip, I no longer had the actual file anymore. So I had to pull it, rip it from YouTube, put it in my program, and then my program went and just janked it all up. It's close enough.
And by the way, the name of the character is Nyx.
It is Nyx.
NYX.
Of course, live here now. When
I just corrected it.
I'm looking it up. What's his name? Oh, man. Anyway, thank you guys if you're just joining us. And Blaine, you're not going to derail this podcast.
No,
I'm in charge. I'm in control. Damn it. He's in the chat on Twitch trying to just derail it.
You got nothing here.
You have no power here.
No power.
But you know what? We do have is a short video from him and our good buddy Tyler wishing us well. So we're going to go ahead and play that right here.
Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for that. We're going to play that right now. You just had to just throw that in right when I muted our mics.
Did I really?
Yeah. Say it again.
Except you, Blaine.
Okay.
I caught on fire today.
That's crazy. Hey, Game Addicts Podcast. We're Podcastrophe.
And you're awesome.
And you're awesome. Congrats on your 100th episode, guys.
Whoa. Are you going through the webcam?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you know you have no microphone in front of your face.
It's actually being picked up over there. I hope they're still using this footage.
Of course we're still using this footage.
Oh, man. The best part is that, like, that.
The opening.
Yeah. So I caught on fire today.
I caught on fire today.
Yeah. Oh, man. We have not derailed. We're struggling. No.
We're struggling. Wait, we're not supposed to be struggling.
No, we're not struggling. You are, we are struggling against you at this moment trying to derail the show. So moving right along, we carried along with the video when we added the video into the show, you know, and we knew that streaming was the be all end all. That's where we wanted to be.
Yes,
but we couldn't be there. We didn't have it. We don't have what we have. So what we did have was a camera. And then I swiped my wife's lights. We started like, hey, and then I ended up getting the Zoom. So he'll get it. He'll get it. You don't look. Don't give him any more attention.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna give you attention, Blaine. You're welcome. Attention.
So then we got ourselves set up with the video. The videos did get better along the way, and I learned more about editing and more about, you know, lighting and all this kind of stuff. I'm not I'm sitting here talking like I know everything. I certainly don't. However, you know,
Oh, yeah, I can't see it.
No, you can't see it, you dummy.
Well, I had it up already.
You had.
Here.
So the
Just
next
leave it
clip
up.
that we're going to play is all the way to episode 52.
Ooh.
So, I skipped past some of our big ones. And why? Well, this one is really a good juxtaposition to what we normally do. Normally, it's me and Mike sitting here. We might throw in Blaine next time.
Maybe. The way you're acting, no.
Tyler's always welcome, but I don't know about
Yes,
you.
Tyler. Right here.
Tyler's been on the show quite a bit. We've had a lot of other people on the show. Nate's been on the show. And then this was the first time that Sarah had been on the show. And
I'm really sad that I missed that.
I know you missed that show, and I was so glad to be able to podcast with her because she's got such a unique story for her path into gaming, and then where her path in gaming took her in her life.
Right.
That was a large reason as to why she got into music, because it was a lot of that. I mean, there's other stuff,
right?
But that was a part of it. So that was the episode 52, Horror Business. Had our good buddy Sarah on there, and we have a little clip of her talking about her getting to meet some famous composers.
Still jelly.
So jelly.
So jelly.
I'm going to load that right up here, and we're going to mute this mic and go right on forward. From what I know about you, of course, you're really big into music.
Indeed.
And you got to meet a legendary composer in the video game world.
I did. Yeah.
So let's tell us about that.
Yeah, I did not bring those games for show and tell.
Oh, that's
today.
okay. That's okay.
Those are my
We'll
prized possessions.
save that for next time.
Yes. In 2006, they had a symphony that came through. This was back in the kind of early days of the video game symphony thing. I mean, it's a really big thing now, but you didn't really hear about it unless you were kind of into it. Like my brother the year before had gone to the first, the Final Fantasy one, not Distant Worlds.
The one before that?
Yeah, the one before that, Dear Friends. The Dear Friends Symphony, he had gone to that, and I was like, ooh, what is this? And I was actually, this was the year I graduated college, and it was a professor. I went to Columbia College in Chicago, and one of the professors there got an email about this symphony that was coming out. And he told me about it in one of my composition lessons and said, oh, you need to go to this. The composers are going to be there. You can get a student rate. And I was like, oh, indeed, I can. So I got the VIP tickets to where I got to meet the composers. And I got primo seats. It was fabulous. I was in like the 7th row, which for symphony, you actually kind of want to be kind of in the middle, acoustically speaking. I don't know if you know that. Sometimes it's even better to be in the back because you can hear all of the instruments blend together by that. Sometimes, if you're too close, it'll wash right over your head, some of the things. But 7th row was fabulous for watching the symphony. And sitting in the aisle opposite me was Koji Kondo.
Really?
He was there, yes, because the composers were just in-house, sitting out in the audience with their family or their loved ones or whatever. And it was the year that New Super Mario Brothers came out. Like the first one, I think it was on the DS.
Yeah.
The DS when it came out. This was before it had come out. So the big thing that he was doing was playing his piece on the piano. It was one of these little ragtime pieces that he did for that game. I think it was like the main theme, the da-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum, that little thing.
Yeah.
So, but he played the piano, and he was out there sitting, I think, with his wife or something. But he, the whole time, and I have to demonstrate this. See, I can because I'm on video here.
Yeah.
So this makes sense. He's sitting there, and because they did a Mario Brothers suite at this play symphony that I went to, he was like this, you guys. He was in the chair just going, da, 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 like conducting on his own, just into it. He was so pleased, and he was smiling the whole time he sat there watching his music. It was just fantastic to see that.
Again, it cut off. Fantastic to see. There was more of that conversation where she also got to meet Nobuo Uematsu. However, like when I was going to piece the clip together, we spiderwebbed and geeked out hardcore about Chrono Trigger. So like we were like, bam, right in there. So like, but please go check out that episode. That's a great, like, different episode from us where we talked about her journey into gaming, and then we talked about some of our favorite horror games. Of course, that's like perfect for this time of year as well.
Yes.
And that was about a year ago, I think we did that. But Mike, there for a while, you took some time off.
I did.
And when that happened, we quit doing video.
Yes.
Because Tyler, stepped in and helped out and covered for you.
Thanks again.
Yes. But during that time, it was like, I didn't want to have to, I didn't know where I would be doing the podcast. Would it be just be myself? Would it be doing some other stuff? and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm like, I'm just going to quit video. And then when, we got back together and we were going to, start back up, it's almost like starting over again.
Right. But we came at it hard this time.
So you were like, where's your camera? And I'm like, I didn't bring it. You're like, why? I'm like, I haven't been using it. I'm like, and then that's when I decided, straight up, we're not going to do video again until we can stream it.
Yep.
So therefore, we won't have an excuse as to why. Well, we don't need to buy all that stuff yet because we have it. We can just video it.
Right.
Now it was like, do we want this portion of the show? We have to we have to want it.
Yep.
So there for a while, we didn't do video. I don't know how many episodes it was, if it was like 15 or so, because I actually looked for the very first one we did, the tester, to show some of that, because that hasn't been seen other than, because we was on Twitch, but I literally told nobody. I didn't plug it. It just went up. The camera was off kilter. Tyler was here. You were way off. You're way over here.
That's normal.
And I said, don't worry about it. This is just a test. See what it looks like. I don't even think we had lights.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think we did.
So, I looked for that, could not find it. I don't know where it is. I think it's on YouTube, but I didn't want to have that same problem with the YouTube audio sync issue. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something in honor of our friend across the pond who joined us for episode 84, Jason Brett. He came over via the magical interwebs.
Right. That's a long flight. You did it really quick.
He came all the way over here to sit here just to fly back.
That's right.
You're such a pal.
You're a real trooper.
So he called in, and it was really cool to sit down with somebody who's really into gaming, who's from an entirely different area of the world.
Right.
They have different perspectives. They have different likes and dislikes, and different reasoning as well. And it was really cool to sit back and just do something completely different out of the norm. During this time, you actually had just had oral surgery.
Yeah, just had some teeth extracted and some stuff sewn up, and I was miserable.
But you didn't want to miss the show.
Yep.
You were a soldier. You pulled through. Near the end of the show, actually during the beginning of the show and near the end of the show, he kind of fades in and out. At the beginning of the show, me and Jason were just geeking out about
just kind of like
about music. And his projects, and then we get into the meat of it. And so I asked Jason, beforehand, I'm like, "Do you want to talk about E3?" He goes, "Oh, that'd be awesome because I haven't had a chance to really talk to anybody about it." So that's what we did. We talked about some E3, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take it right over to episode 84 with Jason Brett, and we're going to do that right now. Jason, what are some of the things that you were excited about from E3? You told me you haven't really had a chance to geek out about it, so let's geek out about it. Let's talk about some E3 with you.
I'm looking at Mike's shirt. Umbrella Corporation.
Right there.
Resident Evil 2 remake. That's the game. That's it. I was done.
Looks
I saw
so
that.
good.
Oh my god.
It was just beautiful.
They're changing it in all the right ways. They're keeping the main quote unquote bloods of the actual original intact, but they're building upon it, and it just looks one of the best looking games of the show. I think it looks fucking incredible.
Yes,
that RE engine can do some incredible stuff.
Well, just look at how good some of the RE7 stuff looks.
Oh yeah,
even in VR, it looks really good. And so you take that engine and you make like an older style of game with it. And it literally transformed and took that whole setting to the next level.
The RE7 engine is very gory and very bloody. And to put it with the best game in the Resident Evil series, in my opinion, which I believe that's about everybody's opinion, is RE2 is about the best.
It's the best. Although I've got a very...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I've got a very soft spot in my heart for the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube. That's masterpiece in my eyes, that game. But yeah, Resident Evil 2 is incredible. I think Resident Evil 7 is probably my third favorite in the franchise. It probably goes RE2, RE remake, and Resident Evil 7. Are probably my three favorites.
I'm super excited for this. I'm excited for a couple of games. Sure. But like out of everything that came out of E3, the things that are like the closest to, like, you know, like I am so excited for The Last of Us Part 2. I'm so excited for that.
Just give me it now.
Yeah, exactly. But please take your time. And I know we're not going to see it for a while. So like while like I'm like so hyped up for that game, to know that RE2, we just saw it for the first time and it's coming out in January. Yeah, no, I'm sold.
There's my New Year game. Obviously, it's not actually New Year, but it's more end of January. But it's like there's my New Year game already, man.
Absolutely.
So.
You know, I'm definitely picking that up day one. No questions asked.
And we are definitely going to be streaming that.
Yes.
We'll decide who you want to stream, because I don't want to stream the same characters.
Yeah, no, like me and Mike are actually going to stream that at the same time, and then stream 2 different characters like to start off with. So, like on his stream he'll be playing as one. On my stream I'll be playing as like another. I'm so excited because then it's like, not only is it going to like revamp the game, but it's also going to be able to bring in a more modern level of storytelling to it as well. And we saw some of that with the gameplay demos, and
yes,
you know, they changed how you meet Marvin. You know, in the original, Marvin's just like kind of laying there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm already kind of done." And this one, he's like, he's pulling you out, man. He's pulling you out of like the shutter and everything, and he's up and moving around. Obviously, he's near death's door himself still, but I can't wait to see how they start weaving in the different scenarios and how they're going to, like, Mr. X is in it, but Mr. X is only in scenario B in the original. So how is this going to Is he going to appear in both? Is he only going to appear in one, or how are they going to divvy this up?
Do you know what sold me the most? I'm on board anyway because it's Resident Evil 2. But if you buy the like limited edition, you get to swap out the new soundtrack with the original soundtrack, and I love that original soundtrack, just Nostalgia City.
Oh,
so,
man.
I can't wait.
Oh, I haven't bought that yet.
No.
Wait,
just
well,
here
there
we
we go, right here. This happens a
See, it's
lot
not
on our
avail-
show.
It's not available for pre-order over here, so I can't even pre-order mine.
Man. Oh, crap. Where's it at? There it is. There we are. Nope. Wait. No, it's not. There. Wow. So, guys, that one, I actually had a lot of issues with that very file. So, all the other stuff that I pulled were video files. You know, I made the audio file for the first episode into a video just to play it. In that last one, I tried so many times last night to export it. It didn't work. So I had to cheat and do audio file plus picture plus this and that. So there it is. Shout out to you, Jason, Drum Slave Brett, from his own YouTube channel. I think he has Slave to the Dark is his name of his YouTube channel, that he does some stuff over there. Of course, he's at Podcast and Stone. Go check that out as well. That's a podcast on Podbean, as well as a YouTube channel. It's all about Iced Earth. If you're into metal and want to check out that band, that's a great place to go because they also have interviews with band members. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite memories of us doing this show?
So one that did not get included was something hit the house. I'm telling you what, it shook this house and stuff fell off the shelves, and we still to this day have no idea what happened.
We were sitting here. I don't even know what episode it's on. I went looking for it.
I don't know either.
It was, for me to find the video of it, it's going to have to be ripped off of YouTube. It's funny because in one of the early intros on YouTube, there's actually a video of him walking across like the chairs. It's that episode.
Yeah.
Because it was such a funny thing because of you doing that, because we ended up leaving. Like,
there was nobody here
during the podcast.
Yep.
To go investigate what hit his house, and there's just dead air.
And you can hear it on the podcast. Yeah. Make contact with the house.
If you have headphones on and you're just chilling out, you can hear in the distance a poof, something hit the house, and then when we react to it, it's maybe we thought it was like maybe a basketball or it was something, man. But what do you want now, Blaine?
All right, Blaine, I'll say it. Heritage.
Blaine's favorite moment is when him and Tyler took over the show and talked about Monster Hunter World. Team Big Dicks, thank you so much for all your love and support, Blaine, Dick, Blaine, Tyner, Fernando, whatever your name is.
Dr.
Dongo, Dr. Dongo, MD, OBGYN.
OBGYN.
And of course, Tyler, many thanks to you, man. Many thanks to you for everything that you've done. You have been so supportive and, helped me out tremendously.
And me.
Yes. And
standing in my hiatus.
Some of there is nothing that I like better, than doing a podcast. But it's not just me. It's the person I'm with. I love podcasting with Mike. But podcasting with Tyler is always such a treat. It's also very long.
Yes, we miss you.
Yes. Well, with me and him in the same room, it can get rambly.
With me and him in the same room, it get rambly.
That last time he was on,
it was just me and him back and forth.
But it was a great time. We can't wait to have you back on the show. I can't wait to actually sit down with you one day and do that Metal Gear retrospective, which Metal Gear Solid 20th year anniversary was just this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the 21st, so Sunday maybe, but 1998 Metal Gear Solid. One of my favorite series. I just ended up ending streaming of Metal Gear Solid 2 on right here on our Twitch channel, and I'm gonna do more a bit later. For me, when we started doing the retrospectives, of course, the first time we did it was actually was one of the clips that we had. It was called GameX Portable. We just started talking about the PSP.
Yep.
Like, hey, let's talk about the PSP, and then it just turned into something that we would do. Let's focus on this topic, and we did PlayStation. We did, Mario, Final Fantasy, N64, Zelda. And episode 50 was Game Boy. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Micro.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's been a lot of great conversation, arguments, all that kind of stuff here on the show. I can't imagine doing this show with anybody else. So thank you, Mike, once again.
Well, thank you for inviting me, because I probably never would have ever done any of this unless you would have taken the initiative and said, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah. I
probably would have been like, eh.
It's something to get out of your shell for sure. Like it's not something that it's not easy to do. It just isn't easy to do, to sit down and just, let yourself be exposed, if you want to use that word, to our audience or to the audience. All your imperfections, all your speech patterns, all your fidgets, all your this and that.
I know.
It's out there for the world to see. So
I got a lot of them.
I do too. But, sir.
Yes.
I think the time for retrospective for us is over. It's time to get the show on the road.
The meat of the show?
Yeah, no kidding, because we spent a long time on that.
Hey, we
already.
did.
We spent almost like 40-something minutes on that.
Yeah.
But it's time to talk about the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, the Wii and the Wii U, guys. Of course.
The Wii U and the Wii is
we got the box. We got some games.
Because nobody knows what the Wii U is.
Yeah, well, everybody thinks it's an add-on.
Nintendo Wii U.
So, guys, we wanted to do the Nintendo Wii, and then I'm like, let's throw the Wii U in there because it's kind of hard to do an episode, a full retrospective on just the Wii U by itself. You can do it, but
you're stretching it.
I mean, I don't have that many Wii U games. I've got pretty much the ones that you want to get, minus a few.
Yeah.
I've got a few more that I would love to get and just grow the collection. I'm not somebody I don't have the kind of money, should I say. If I'd have won that Mega Millions jackpot,
right,
then I could afford to just be like, I want a complete Wii U collection. Why? Because I can.
Yeah. Reasons.
So I'm out there to find the Monster High School, the schoolgirls game on the Wii U. I'm buying that game. Why? Because I can, and I'm on the hunt for it. I'm going.
Would you get them all sealed?
No, I'm not. Now, see, I don't like sealed games unless I'm going to have a copy of it unsealed, opened. Here I am trying to be all smart and intellectual, and opened is the easiest word to say. If I have a copy of the game open, I'll have one sealed. Sure. But to that respect, I showed you something that there's a guy on YouTube who will have sealed games. And he goes, rip, hey, let's open this up, see what's in here.
Expensive.
Well, not just expensive. He's done some expensive ones.
If we could pan this camera around, you can see all the amiibos that I have collected. I don't know. I won't open them.
Well, Amiibo is different.
I want to.
Like amiibos do have a use, but at the same token, like they are very like games. I want to play my game. I want like Rob, our good buddy Silent Rob. Thank you, Rob, for all you've done to help us do this show. Especially with donating your Wii for this episode.
Since neither one of us have a Wii.
No, like we just have Wii U's, which is play Wii. But it plays Wii's. Plays Wii's. Hey, Wii's guys.
Wii's.
Whis, the guy from Dragon Ball.
That's what I was thinking. Whis.
So, Rob, he'll buy a game, or like he might buy a couple games, and if they're sitting there, he's just waiting to get to them, he'll leave them sealed. And then, like for me, first thing I do, crack, rip, open, cool. Crack, rip, open, cool.
Yeah.
I'll open them.
I don't think I've ever not opened a game as I'm looking at them.
I only have a few sealed games in my collection. I have the Final Fantasy IV Game Boy Advance, and I have like a PS2 game, Tokobot Plus. I found that at Goodwill. But I have Tokobot on the PSP. Tokobot Plus is pretty much the PSP game plus some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, guys, it's time to talk about the Nintendo Wii, as we said we were going to, and then spiderwebbed. So, got the graphic. Got the good old graphic up there. Got some information for you guys. Information overload. The Nintendo Wii was released on November 19th, 2006. It has three retail models to find out there. The original model, which is the one we have here. Let me open this. Yeah, let me have this real quick. Knock stuff over. This is the original launch model Wii. This is the one that I bought from Walmart that I found. And yes, I bought it with my money as part of my rent. To give to Rob, because he was wanting one, and at that time they were still pretty hard to find.
Right.
And it was in 2007. I think we got this around holiday-ish, so almost a year after it came out. Now this version, the Model 1, is reverse compatible with GameCube accessories and games. It has 4 controller slots up here and 2 memory card slots here. The top folds open for you to be able to do that. Now, you still need a Wiimote to even use this damn thing.
Yeah.
But when you get into the GameCube games, then you just use your controllers up here. The Model 2, which is called the Family Edition, doesn't have this. It's one single block. It's this extra stuff doesn't exist anymore. And then the final version was called the Wii Mini. It's red and black. And that one is not reverse compatible, at all. And it can't go online.
Huh.
Yep. It was originally only released in Canada and then brought over to the States. The introductory price for this was $250. It was the cheapest console on the market when it came out.
Yes.
With the Xbox 360 being like $400 for the cheapest one. Or was that for the most expensive one? $400. Does that sound right to you?
For which one being the most?
For the Xbox 360 was the 60 or whatever, because you had the 20 gig Xbox 360, or you had the 4 gigabyte 360.
Yeah, the 4 gig.
And then what was the next one? Was it 20?
I think so. I'll have to look.
Yeah, it's not really that important. But then the PS3 was $500 and $600 respectively for those two models.
Yeah.
So this was definitely the cheaper way to go. They were able to successfully market this system, the Nintendo Wii, which is basically, all things considered, just a super powered GameCube.
Yeah.
It has the same architecture in there, and which is why it's limited compared to the other two consoles. The ports of those games that came here, a lot of them suffered. There's very few games that went to those other two consoles that were on here that were actually worth a damn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. There's also...
But that was one of the high-selling consoles.
It is, and of course that.
Sorry,
no,
I spiderwebbed.
You spiderwebbed before I did. Worldwide units sold of this were on 163 million consoles.
That's phenomenal.
As of March 31st, 2016. They were discontinued. Where was it? Discontinued in North America in 2017. So these were no longer available. In Japan, they were discontinued in 2013.
Huh.
But you could still get brand new Wiis in 2017. I bet if you looked hard enough, you could still find them brand new. But they probably would not be. They're not reverse compatible. This is the version to get. You get two consoles in one with a reverse compatible Wiis. It's the way to go, no doubt about it.
So we're talking about that. I'm gonna look something up.
What are you looking at?
If you can find one of those brand new in the box for a decent price.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna pull this up because this was the controller for this bad baby.
Well, that's minus the extender.
This
the Wiimote Plus.
This is the Wiimote, and I have it in this silicone shell because there's an attachment to it because this is the original one, and the attachment in there is the Wii Motion Plus attachment, and eventually they would just release the Wiimotes with the Wii Motion Plus built in, but to those of us that bought them early and can't have the Motion Plus, you actually had to have these little dongles on there. And then, of course, they added the little silicone thing to help you prevent from throwing the damn thing when you would use it with, Wii bowling or whatever, because you would crack your damn TV with it. Then, another way that you can play it is, well, guess what? This thing has Virtual Console, which is one of my favorite aspects about the Wii. It had old NES, SNES, Master System, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16, and maybe something else in there, too. And 64. So,
let me see the Wii. I need the numbers. Because the 01 is not what I'm looking for.
All right, so when you're playing NES games, you hold it like this, and it's just like the NES with two buttons here and your D-pad. And then, of course, start and select, right? So there you go. But then you also had a Pro Controller?
Yes.
Which was shaped kind of like a Super Nintendo controller.
I have that.
Do you have it for the Wii?
Yeah.
For the original Wii?
Maybe not.
Do you have the Wii U version?
Yeah.
Grab it.
Okay.
All right, because we're going to talk about it eventually. So and then you would use that controller or the GameCube controller to play those games. And then, of course, for the games that required it, you would actually get a whole different, this is called the nunchuck. So you have your stick, just like, your left analog stick. You have a C button, a Z button over here, and over here you had your A button right where your thumb goes, just like you're holding a remote. Your B button is a trigger on the back. You have your D-pad up here, and then that's kind of like the buttons that you would use. You wouldn't really go down here when it's in this position. And then you would have the motion controls and do all that kind of stuff. Are you done? Did you find it?
I found it.
Good.
But I left my phone over there.
So the Wii has expandable memory with the SD card. So you can put SD cards in it to get more memory.
I really wish they would have kept that idea. They brought it back.
Mm-hmm. I think the Wii U has it too. Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
I never used it.
Oh.
You turn it. Oh.
And you have the Wii U, and you just like this, and you go.
Yeah.
Expandable memory in there. Look at that.
Shows you how much I know.
Yeah, you don't know nothing, Jon
I don't
Snow.
know. Using that.
So,
I gotta get.
are you good?
I gotta get closer here, so then I'm on the
mic.
mic.
Are you good to go?
I'm good enough.
All right. So, what games did this thing launch with? Do you know?
I do not know.
Well, you know what it came with. Wii Sports.
Wii Sports.
Which was basically the demo for all the motion controls. But are you ready for this list? I'm only going to read North America because that's what all that really matters, right?
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of games here.
Wow. So before we continue,
take
a guess at how much the Wii console new in box is. Just a guess.
Brand new.
Brand new. We're talking the 2011 model is the lowest one I can find.
Is it expensive?
Way more than you would ever think.
$400.
Yes, for that one.
I win.
$399.95.
Get a used one. Get a used one, everybody.
Yeah, and then somebody's got one on Amazon. It's like $638.
Oh, get out of town. All right, so you want to know these games?
Yeah, I want to know these games.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, Barnyard, Call of Duty 3, Cars, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Excite Truck.
Excite Truck.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Ooh.
GT Pro Series. Happy Feet. The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I knew that was one.
Madden NFL 07. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Monster 4x4 World Circuit. Need for Speed Carbon. Open Season. Rampage Total Destruction. Rayman Raving Rabbids. Red Steel. SpongeBob SquarePants, Creature from the Krusty Krab. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz.
That's the one I was thinking of that made it to the Wii. Last one. I think.
They've had more Super Monkey Balls, but, wow. They had one that came to the Wii. Or the Wii. The Vita. The damn Vita. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. Trauma Center, Second Opinion. And then Wii Sports was the last one for North America. So has a lot of games to show off with it, But we're going to move right over to the best-selling games.
Yeah.
So there should be no doubt what the best-selling game is of all time for this system.
I believe it was included with the console.
It absolutely was.
What would that be, sir?
Wii Sports.
Wii Sports.
Total copies sold 82 million. 82.85.
Here's my only complaint. Technically, it was not. It was sold separately, but it was sold majority of the time with the system. To say that it is the highest selling game on the system, I believe is a incorrect statement due to the fact that it was included with the system.
We'll get ready for this. Number 2 is Mario Kart Wii, 37.1. Number 3, Wii Sports Resort, 33.08.
Yeah.
So, part of your argument, I kind of agree. The other one is that everybody want to play bowling. Everybody wanted to play bowling.
I tell you what, though. I played the crap out of it.
I did too.
And the tennis.
And baseball.
Yeah.
Dude, if you wanted a workout, stand up and box.
Yes.
That'd give you a workout. Number 4, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, 30.2 million. The next one, Wii Play, 28 million. Wii Fit. I laugh, but people actually used it.
Oh, with the board?
Yeah.
I probably need it to increase my balance because it's
right.
horrible.
22.6 million. Wii Fit Plus, 21.13. The 2 copies of that game collectively sold about 42, 43, 44 million.
Jesus.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl, 13.2.
I gotta sneeze.
Bless you, you idiot.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Super Mario Galaxy, 12.7. Wii Party.
That surprises me. How low that number is due to how many Wiis were out there. Because if you look at all the other consoles, Mario's like top dog, yo. Every time.
Wii Party. Wii Party Hard.
Wii Party Hard.
9.3. Mario Party 8, 8.8. Mario Galaxy 2, 7.4. Zelda Twilight Princess, 7.2. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, 7 million. Donkey Kong Country Returns, 6.5. Link's crossbow training that came with that.
I had it.
That thing.
I had it.
5.7. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Games. 5.6. Just Dance 2 is 5 million. Animal Crossing City Folk is 4. Verse Just Dance is 4.3. Super Paper Mario 4.2. And this is the last one that I'm going to say. Skyward Sword Legend of Zelda 3.9.
That's very low for a Zelda game.
It is.
But that was at the end of the Wii cycle.
That was towards the end. Let me see that. I just had it right here. North America. Yeah, that was in November 20th, 2011. And the Wii U had launched in 2012. So, yeah, it was right there at the end. It actually came out in North America 3 days before Japan.
That never happens.
No. What, Zuki? What are you doing?
He's crazy.
Quit messing with the lights. We're trying to do a podcast about video games.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. So, we talked about the sales of it. When did you get a Wii? Did you ever, when did you get one?
I got one when Corruption came out.
Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah. And I was deployed. And I had to have my ex buy it and send it to me with a crap load of games. And with that being said, I puked multiple times trying to get used to this stinking console.
Oh, man.
So I get motion sickness extremely bad.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play it like this. That's how they advertise it. So I'm like, I'm going to do it like this. And I can't keep the cursor on the freaking screen. So it's literally just spinning. And I always have high sensitivity. So I've got it all the way up, the highest that it'll let me. And I cannot get it to get under control. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. I have to beat this game no matter what. And yeah, I puked. But finally, I did what every sensible person would do. Placed it on my leg and aimed from the leg.
Yep.
That's what almost everybody did. Everybody at first was like, yeah. And then they were just like, yeah, I just kind of flip my wrist a little bit here and it'd work.
So I kind of already said the story. I bought mine as rent payment.
Yeah.
Rob wanted one. We wanted to find one, and we finally got one. And we texted him, dude, we found one. Do you like? And he's like, I'm in Illinois. I'm like, it's here. It's the last one left. He goes, could you buy it? I'm like, will that count as like $250 of my rent payment? He goes, sure. So there it was. That's all she wrote. I bought it, and I might be buying it from him again at one point. He's never sold it, and I want it for the GameCube backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
because you can find Wii to HDMI pretty easily. I need to watch a video to see how good that compares to the component to HDMI conversion.
Yeah,
because if the Wii to HDMI is good enough, I'll just buy that and be done with it. But if the component cable signal is actually better converted, I might get the component because I want to get the converter anyway from my original Xbox.
Right.
So I don't necessarily want to keep buying individual cables for $30 when I could buy a converter and use the cables I already bought like a long time ago. So playing the Wii, I played a lot of the Wii at first. I played a crap ton of Wii Sports. We all did. And then I played Manhunt 2, which did I bring? I did. I brought Manhunt 2. This game was heavily edited and censored, like to a point where like a lot of the kills had to be like when they went in and they actually edited the kills to make it look like they're like the video cuts out when they kill them, because this game got banned in Australia.
Yeah.
Of course, this is made by Rockstar. The first Manhunt is amazing. I didn't like this one as much, but I thought this was crazy that you killed people using the motion controls.
Yeah.
Especially for back then, it was something crazy. But Manhunt was a game that I played. I remember they had how you have like the little strap on the Wiimote?
Yep.
They had a special strap. This takes place in an insane asylum. And so your little patient strap, they had a Manhunt patient strap.
That's really cool.
Wiimote that you could get through GameStop.
Of course.
Now, another game that I played the crap out of was a game that I bought my wife, and because she wanted to play it, and she loved it, and so did I, and that is Super Paper Mario. I've got the greatest hits selection here. This game took Paper Mario away from the turn-based combat and made it more like Super Mario Brothers, where you have like a level and you have to run and you have to play it, but you're like in a 2D paper, thing, and then you can actually turn the world 3D and play so long in that. But then you also use the Wiimote. You have to point the Wiimote at the screen to highlight and select certain things. It's a different kind of game, but you still have HP. Like instead of getting hit and losing your power up, you have so many hits that you can take. So it's like a mixture between Paper Mario and old school Mario gameplay.
Huh.
It's very cool, very interesting. And then of course you also have like hub worlds that you go to,
right?
And then you talk to people and the story progresses. So really, really neat game. If you're looking to get some Wii games, this is a good one to get. And I actually don't own this anymore, but Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles was an on-rail shooter. You have that? Is it in there? Did you put it in there? Where is it?
Is it not in there?
No, you didn't put it in there, you idiot.
I have it.
Well, why did you put it in there?
I don't know.
You goofball. How many times are you going to get up during this episode and not pee?
Since you mentioned it.
Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles is an on-rail shooter. You play through the... What?
It would not be a true...
It would... No, it would not. You play through the events of Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1. And then, I think Resident Evil 3. Is that right? Or is Resident Evil 3 later? They did a Dark Side Chronicles as well, which that was like... I think that was maybe 2 and Code Veronica. But anyway... Yeah, you're on rails, and you just have like the reticle on the screen, and you're moving the Wiimote, and you're firing, and you can play 2-player. It's a pretty fun little game. I like it. I'll move it on. I'm not waiting for you.
Okay, that's fine.
You idiot. So another cool game for the Wii is a game called No More Heroes. This game is bad ass. And you run through, and of course you're using the whole motion controls to beat them up, and you're using like this like a beam katana, and you're just going through. They actually have a remake of this of some sorts. There's a second game as well. This one was ported, I think, to the PS3 when they had their little motion thing that ripped off the Wii. Hey, doggy.
It's the meat. You see my hunchback. Sorry, I'm watching the video.
As we said, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I picked these both up for my collection because you have to. These are different. I'm not necessarily too much of a fan of when you're running around planets, like small planets, and you're like, it's kind of weird. They like the camera scheme. You do get used to it. Hey, doggy, what are you doing? Get out of there. Get out of your dog. Those aren't your games. Those are my games.
Some of them are your games. And talk to the dog, because technically, mine.
Anyway, these games are awesome. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Wii collecting is starting to go down in price. So if you're looking to get into it, Wii and Wii U right now are relatively cheap for Nintendo. Let me rephrase that. They're cheap for Nintendo. Nintendo prices tend to stay on the higher end of things, but these two things are falling, which is a great time. I'm glad we're talking about it now because it's a great time to let you guys know. Go out there if you want to start building a collection for the Wii. Now's the time, dude. You can get these. You can get both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for probably around $20. A game that is not $20 but has fallen down in price. The original Xenoblade Chronicles. When this game came out, man, it was like exclusive to GameStop or some sorts, and they ripped people off hardcore. Where they only released so many copies. And then they magically found a whole bunch of them, but they were all opened and used, and they charged $90 used for them. The price has now dropped. It's about around the $40 to $50 range. Still a little high. You can also get a version of this on the 3DS as well. But this game is badass. This game is an RPG. It's an action RPG, kind of. I don't want to say it's exclusively an action RPG because you have like a little menu that you select from, and he does. So it's almost there to full on, like, it's in a way kind of like Kingdom Hearts in that respect where you select stuff. But for this being a Nintendo exclusive, like RPGs, I love that Nintendo has different sections of their own company that put out exclusives, RPGs, put out Mario games, put out Zelda games, which is Zelda in itself is an RPG.
You got to think about this though. They have to.
Well,
With all the innovation that they do, that's what sells their games. You don't really see any third parties really picking up the gimmicks of each console. The Wii, people actually did the Wii because it was selling like crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd be crazy not to put your game on there.
Right, but really when you look at it, who utilized it best?
Nintendo, of course. It's always Nintendo.
Right, but
It's the same
nobody
with the
really
Switch.
worked on it hardcore to really fine tune their game to fit in there. It's just like, this is good enough, get it on there.
Mm-hmm.
So
we just got a comment from Journey into Comics. My favorite was episode 64, which was the N64 retrospective. That was also a great episode.
Yeah.
You'll know this game.
I don't know that game at all.
Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, a sequel to Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, which if you have a backwards compatible Wii, you can play both of them on the same console.
That's what I did. And on this game here, you can take your save from the original and forward it over.
That's great. It's great stuff. And both of these are available in an HD remaster on like the PS3, and I think you get both 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere. I'll be his PS3.
These games, Metroid.
I hope so.
The Metroid Prime trilogy. 1, 2, and 3. Of course, the third one was the one that was
Exclusive.
the one for the Wii.
Yep.
And then this is 1 and 2. Is it just one disc and just one giant manual for all 3 games?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
it is. Because I have this, but it isn't the Steelbook version. I just have the regular.
So I found that, and it was super cheap.
Yeah?
And I bought it because I was looking for the Steelbook edition.
Well, they used to be more expensive because
They were like $50 to $60.
Well, the same thing happened with this that happened to the Xenoblade
Yeah.
with GameStop, where they hoarded it and pretty much kept it to themselves.
Can't wait till you go away. Sorry.
GameStop?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? Okay. And then this one, it isn't a Prime game. Metroid Other M effectively almost killed the series.
Which is unbelievable to me because those
Here we go.
Here we go.
I knew the moment I said that.
Here it goes.
Here we go.
So freaking all the games, you play them and they're like, this isn't the end. There's always the Other M. Okay? Then we get the Other M. I loved it. I thought it was unique. It was a 2D, but not 2D. It was like a 3D over the top. You going around the levels. Kind of gives you the nostalgia of the original not original, but the original Metroid and then the Super Metroid style. But you have all your powers, and you could have to unlock them later on, or are allowed to use them. I love the game. I don't know why it effectively almost killed the series. Except for the fact that we could still go to Meijer today, and it's still $50.
Oh, man.
I love that game.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
We already mentioned this one. I'll just get out of the way. Zelda, Skyward
Got to
Sword.
finish that.
I don't own Twilight Princess.
For the Wii?
For the Wii. I don't own Twilight Princess for the Wii. I own it for the
I don't
GameCube,
either.
and I own the remake on the Wii U. But this actually came with a special gold Wiimote, and I don't have that either. So
I wish I did.
Mine? Did
It's
I bring
mine.
this?
Oh, wait. It might be yours. I don't know. We'll look.
I think it's mine
I think it's yours.
because I'm pretty sure I brought it. But anyway, I got this used, and it was about $40 then. I think it's dropped in price a little bit. It is a pretty good game. It's not my favorite Zelda.
It has a great story.
It's not my favorite. I don't like the controls, and because they're really motion controlling.
Yeah, it is.
You have to be like, and that's the caveat about the Wii, that you've got to kind of be cool with the idea of motion controls. I like them to an extent,
Right.
but for some games they work fine, others they don't. Here's one that's out of left field, but I love it. The
yeah?
Blob. The Blob.
Blob.
This game is fun. This game did come out to other consoles. This game you plays as like this blob of blue ink type thing. And think of it almost kind of like Splatoon in a way, where you're spreading around color everywhere, and like everything is black and white. All the color gets sucked out, and you've got to, the place is called Chroma City. Yeah, and you've got to save Chroma City for a future without color. Paint the city and smash your way to past inky enemies to save the citizens. It's a fun game. It's like a weird little 3D platformer kind of game. It's fun. And at the end of the day, it's like I feel like that was a precursor in a way to the idea of Splatoon. It's not made by them. It was published by THQ, but only got a few left.
All right. What we got left? Anything good?
Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo.
I never played it.
This game is actually pretty fun. Not everybody likes it. It is a like a 3D action platformer game where you run around, you smack people with a stick, with a power pole.
Yeah.
And then you have like one-on-one fights and stuff. And it has, of course, the voice cast from Dragon Ball. And it is essentially the story,
Yeah.
of the Piccolo arc. And of course there's also other stuff kind of going on. They cram in some other story arc in there from Dragon Ball as well. Pretty cool game. I'm not sure what it's going for. I bought this way back when I had this Wii. Like when I owned that with Rob and we lived in the same apartment, I bought this a long, long time ago. And when I sold all my stuff, it got left behind. I never sold it.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm glad I kind of held on to it. It's a neat little game. Speaking of neat little game, Mad World.
Yeah.
Mad World, published by Sega. It was made by Platinum Games. And this game is a black and white game. It is a beat 'em up. It's a 3D beat 'em up.
Would it be black, white, and red?
It is red because it's very violent.
Yes.
This game is super over the top violent. Like there's a level where you're being attacked, trying not to get sucked into a giant jet engine.
Yeah.
And you have to attack and throw people into it. Basically, this game you are competing in like it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
Or like a game show. It's let me just read the back.
Why didn't you do that?
It's called Death Watch, and it is the game show narrator is a guy by the name of Greg Proops. He's a comedian. He's with Whose Line Is It Anyway a lot.
Yeah.
And so he's the voice of a guy on the over. He's doing all that kind of stuff. And you have chainsaws. You eviscerate people, and
yeah,
man, this game is just fun, unadulterated, violent fun. And think about a game like this on something that is as friendly and as family friendly as the Wii.
Right.
So that's what makes it stand out to me. Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Big Nintendo game here. It's Kirby. And of course, it's Kirby.
Yeah, it's Kirby.
And it's a pretty good Kirby game too. I did play it, and then you can have it to 4 players on this one. It's pretty cool. So, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I've got one more game. The Last Story. This is in a trilogy of games that were developed by. Let me find them. Mistwalker. It doesn't actually say that on here, but I know it's Mistwalker because I thought of it. This game is published by Xseed because the other 2 games, when I say trilogy, I'm not saying that all 3 of these games are connected, but the games of Blue Dragon and The Last Odyssey on the Xbox 360, and then The Last Story. This is a game by Hironobu Sakaguchi, the guy who created Final Fantasy. The music is done by Nobuo Uematsu. The team is back together for this one, and it's not a Final Fantasy. It's called The Last Story.
It's very different to play.
It is. It is different. I enjoy it, but I do recognize that it is different. It is also, if you're a big RPG collector, seek it out.
Yes.
Because especially, the 3 games that Sakaguchi did after Final Fantasy, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey and Last Story. They're all good games. They're all great games.
Lost Odyssey is really close to a Final Fantasy game.
It is so close.
Very. I mean, it's like as close as you can get without saying, "Hey, I'm a Final Fantasy game."
Pretty much. So that wraps up the Wii segment. Last memories of the Wii is that.
So I had like every rock band. I loved them.
Okay, because
I had the drums. I had everything.
we had Rock Band on PS3.
Yeah.
So we had we got Rock Band and Rock Band 2 on PS3 and played the crap out of it on there. So you're telling me you had Rock Band on the Wii?
Yep.
That's cool.
I had the drum set. The drum set was still in there for a long time. And I bought that brand new. Like that came out. I was like, yeah. Me and my sister played the crap out of that.
We got it brand new.
The drums were hard.
You know what? It was.
They were not on beat the way they should be.
Well, they had to transpose them. You know,
It didn't work for me. I mean, I'm not a drummer, by any means. Am I a drummer?
Played it. Rob would play drums, and I would usually play guitar. There was actually
off.
when I was getting back into the band, I actually jimmied up the microphone, and I used the guitar, and I would play and sing.
Yeah.
And to get back in the mode of playing and singing at the same time, so that way I could do backup vocals and stuff, because that stuff's not easy to do.
No.
And I would set up, and I remember I did, I set up a metal playlist, continuous songs, and there were like about 20 songs that I had, because we downloaded a lot of songs.
Did you?
Onto on Rock Band, a crap ton. Like, I wish, that is something that I wish I could get, is I think I have a copy of Rock Band, but to get Rock Band and Rock Band 2 and 3 or whatever, and then just go back in time on the download list for the PlayStation Network and see all of the stuff bought, because like literally and Rob actually got upset about this because when because he didn't buy them on his account, he bought them on mine.
Huh.
So guess who didn't have all the songs when he got his on PS3? Rob. They're all mine, and like he wanted me to pay him for them. I'm like, what? No, you should have bought them on yours.
Yeah. That sucks for Rob though.
I'm like, they're here if you want to play it, dude. I'm like, take it. Like we can work something out here, man.
Right.
All right, so now we're gonna move on. Well, actually, you know what? Let me finish my thought. My final memory of the Wii is something that came in like a force, and it just it's like a bottle rocket.
Okay.
Everybody like, ooh, and then nobody cared. By the end of it, for the first, okay, so it came out in 06. For the first 3 years, the Wii was relevant, in my opinion. 2010 and on, nobody cared.
Right.
It had already kind of died off. But its successor, the Wii U, was not as successful.
Was that an add-on?
A lot of people thought it was, because I mean, look at the systems. You grab that one and I'll grab this one. So if you look at the systems, I've got he's got they look almost damn near identical. The Wii U is a little longer, but their mind and their concept was to keep this tucked away, and you not make it so big and not make it take up so much real estate, and to keep it from bugging mom and dad from being too loud. And then of course, once you have it looking pretty similar to its original console counterpart, then you have this, and it looks like, oh, this is a gamepad, a touchpad. People thought the Wii U was like a gamepad, like edition.
They thought that this was it. This pad right here that I'm holding, the Zelda one, was literally the add-on to this. So you would literally just buy this and play it with this.
Yeah.
That's what people thought. That's bad marketing, Nintendo.
They failed incredibly at their marketing with the Wii U. Now, the Wii U, let me go through the stats here. Some of them are already on screen for those live on Twitch. But the Wii U release date, North America, was November 18th, 2012, so right around the same time, just 6 years later. And then the introductory price for the base model was $300. The deluxe set, which is the black one, is $350. Now the base model, I think you had 8 gigabytes of memory. In this model, the black one, you had 32 gigabytes of memory with the expandable memory with the SD card slot.
Right.
So, what else happened to that? So, the Wii U was discontinued January 31st, 2017.
Yeah.
It didn't have that long of a life, not even 5 years. And it sold worldwide 13.56 million units as of March 31st, 2017.
What'd I do?
Oops.
I messed that one up.
Man, yeah, they definitely missed the ball with this. This is definitely their biggest mainstream failure, without a shadow of a doubt. Like it is, and really that goes without being said. All things considered, it really goes without being said that I really feel like that this console, had it been released, okay, so they released the Wii in 2006.
Yeah.
It was a souped up GameCube, and they knew that. All right.
But
what if? So this came out in 2012. Maybe they weren't there yet. Maybe they couldn't even have done this yet. What if this came out in 2010? And its main competitor is the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
I don't think it's. I still think it would have done bad
because it ran most of those games good. It was right on par with theirs. It was, if not a little bit more powerful than them. The difference is that it's essentially a superpowered Wii with the same kind of architecture. It's not necessarily great. So, with that being said, I feel it could have been more competitive.
I think it could have been more competitive,
especially when you look at the games that came out, the third-party games that came out at launch, were games that were on the other consoles,
right,
and doing well. And those games play well on here for the most part. Maybe not as great, as if like. It's like, as you said, the third parties don't take the time, right, to really dive in and learn how to do it as well as Nintendo does.
And this, they could have done anything because it's not gimmicky other than the gamepad, which really with the gamepad, it made it to where, let's say you're playing Mario and your parents are like, get off the TV. Well, okay, cool. Tablet mode. And boom, there it is, right there. And you can play the game right there as long as you're in range of the Wii U.
Well, they also realized that they were almost to where they wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Because, they had the idea of this, but what happens when you leave the room with this? Cut signal.
Yep.
You have to be in the same room as the Wii U to use the gamepad wirelessly. But pretty much every single Wii U game, you could bloop, 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 and it'll beam the signal from the Wii U to this, and you can play like this in your hand.
Yep.
Then they did the Switch,
and
here it is.
This is the
Fisher-Price Switch.
This is the Fisher-Price Switch, yeah. Trial model right here.
Yep. But with that being said, I still stand by if it had released 2 years earlier, it could have been more competitive. It would have sold a little bit more without those other without those other new consoles right there the next year out, and it could have stood with those other consoles, and those third party developers could have had a little bit more time and want to get more out of this system. I feel like it could have been more worth a damn.
Yeah,
but that is not the way it be. I need to stretch my leg. Move your leg.
I'm moving.
My knee is all like, there we go. So, as I said, the main controller was the gamepad, but you could also use your Wiimotes.
Yes.
And you can also use the Wii U Pro controller.
This is a good controller.
I really, really dig the Wii U Pro controller. I didn't when I first held it.
Yeah.
But when I played more games with it,
to me, nothing beats that Switch controller, man.
Well, still, but I mean, for the time, dude, that right there.
Yeah, it was a good controller.
That is a really good, really good controller.
It really was.
So you had options. So the Wii is reverse compatible with the with the Wii U is reverse compatible with the Wii. It's in the damn name. So with that being said, the Wii U is the best way to play your Wii games because it has HDMI out, and you're getting the best conversion of that original game onto your TV. Those games will never look better than on a Wii U.
Right.
Guarantee you. So, now that we've said all that, what were the launch games? Do you know the launch games?
I do not.
Because I do. And
With the power of the internet.
I have the internet at my... this also had the Virtual Console as well. It also had, I want to say, DS and Game Boy Advance games on the Virtual Console on here.
I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure because I know I have Advance Wars, which is on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
On there, and I want to say the DS Virtual Console allowed you to like. Do you want to put like both screens side by side? How do you want to do it? All right, launch games.
What are the launch games?
Assassin's Creed 3, Batman: Arkham City Armored Edition, Call of Duty 2 Black Ops, Darksiders 2. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Sports Connection. In North America, it was called an ESPN Sports Connection. FIFA Soccer 13. Funky Barn.
What?
It's a game called Funky Barn. Game Party Champions.
Huh.
I don't know. Just Dance 4. New Super Mario Brothers U. I didn't realize that was a launch game.
I didn't either.
Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge. Nintendo Land. That was like the pack-in game for this. It kind of showed you like, it was almost kind of like a Wii Sports.
Yeah.
For the Wii, it showed you all the new things you do with the Wiimotes. The Nintendo Land showed you all the cool stuff you do with the gamepad.
Which wasn't much.
Not really. Rabbids Land. Scribblenauts Unlimited. Sing Party. Skylanders Giants. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform. That's a damn good racer. The Sonic All-Star I'm serious. Get them. They're on multiple consoles. Track those down. Those are damn good kart racers. They remind me a little bit of like Diddy Kart or Diddy Kong Racing, where when you're racing and in like mid-race you transform into a plane and then you go into a boat. It's awesome. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Wii U Edition. Transformers Prime, the game. Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper. Wipeout 3.
Good old Wipeout.
Yeah, but it's not the Wipeout that you think.
I know.
It's not the Wipeout Racing.
I know.
It's different. It's the Wipeout, the television show with the obstacle course.
I know.
Your Shape Fitness Evolved. Wait.
Huh?
So this game
Like,
just throw me for a loop. Because it says, I don't know if this game ever came out for the Wii U. Did it? It must have. Because this game is a game for the Xbox 360 that you use with the Kinect. And when I hovered over it, that's the image that popped up. Kinect. Requires Kinect. I went, brr. Anyway, last game is Zombie U. Zombie U is now out for PS4 and 360, and it's just called Zombie. So those are the launch games. Not a terrible lineup, but not a great Nintendo lineup.
yeah.
With New Super Mario Brothers U, that's a great game.
Yes, it is.
I mean, that alone is a great game. But
it's like Super Mario World all over again.
Right, but so you have that, you have Nintendo Land, and then like basically like a few other crap.
Yeah.
The stuff that they put out like is just like Game Party Champions. That wasn't them. That had to have been somebody else. Ping pong and stuff like that. Yeah. So like, but one of the good quality games out of here. Well, number one, Arkham City, Batman Arkham City. Assassin's Creed 3 is a good game. No, I didn't like where they took the story, but that's personal. The gameplay's fine. I didn't appreciate 3 until after I played 4. 4 is like the prequel the past version or the past story that you play, that he is the grandfather of Connor.
Yeah.
And his son is Hatham, and he turns to the what they called Templars. Thank you. So after I started 3, and that's the reason why I even got in the series, because I saw that I was all in the hype for 3, and then I got there and then I didn't like it.
That was me.
But then I played Black Flag. I loved it, and then I played 3, and absolutely felt like the Connor story by itself, as beginning to end right there, is the best singular story they've done. The Ezio story is an expanded boom, boom, boom story. But, like, just right here, like, Connor, bad guy. It's a good story, and I think it's underrated. I think it gets overshadowed by Ezio because Ezio is just so good. And then, of course, I mean, Black Ops 2, it's Call of Duty, but I wouldn't say that this would be the system to play it on.
No.
So
hardly anybody played it on there anyways.
So I didn't get a Wii U until Rob sold his Wii U. That's the first time I actually played the Wii U, was at his house. And that first game I ever played, I actually have it here. Well, no, wait, no. Do I? Yes, I do. I do have it. Rayman Legends. This game was originally exclusively, in development for the Wii U.
Good old Rayman.
And I played the demo for this. It was great. My wife fell in love with it, with that demo. And then, of course, they delayed the game to release it on other consoles.
Yeah.
When the Wii U struggled and pretty much like fell right out of the gate. This game is badass. And while we own a copy of this, maybe it was Origins. Rayman Origins instead of Legends. I don't remember. I think Origins is on the Wii. Now I'm getting all like turned around.
I'm confused. So,
all right. So I think the reason why I bought a physical copy of this is because we have this digital on the Vita. When the game finally came out, we didn't have a Wii U, but we had a Vita.
Right.
And I was gonna buy her a physical copy of the game right after work, but she couldn't wait for me to get off work, so she bought it digitally.
Yeah.
And then had to wait for it to download. And then she just started playing it probably about an hour or two before I got home. I was not happy because I wanted the physical copy. So when I was collecting and I found this for the Wii U, which was the original intended system for the Legends game, I bought it.
Yeah.
You didn't get a Wii U
until
Mario Kart 8?
Mario Kart 8.
Which I still have.
I do not.
Mario Kart 8 is an incredible title. My opinion, the best Mario Kart game ever made.
I agree.
I
agree.
I'm not someone who thinks that N64 game is the be-all, end-all of Mario Kart. It's good.
It definitely is good, but that game is phenomenal.
So you ended up getting the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker
edition, yes.
Edition. So you didn't get a physical copy of the game.
No. But I did get.
But I did.
But I did get the designed.
Yeah. So your gamepad has like Wind Waker designs on it. I did get Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Holy crap! I take back all the stuff I said about this game when it came out.
God, I loved it.
When this game came out, I shoved my nose up at it so hard.
I did too.
I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to know it existed. I said, "That's not Zelda. That is an abomination to Zelda." But I was a fool.
I was
a young, immature idiot who hated the look of the graphics.
Yep.
Now I love them, and now this is one of my. This is up there with one of my favorite Zelda games.
It's amazing.
But you know what we need to do before we go any further with talking about all these games? We need to talk about the best-selling games because we already talked about one of them.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 was the highest-selling Wii U game with 8.42 million copies sold.
Yeah.
So think about that.
I guarantee that moved consoles.
Well, 13.56, 13.5 million copies or units of the Wii U. that is well over half.
And that's the only reason why I purchased it. And then, of course, I got Super Mario U for free
download,
for purchasing.
Same here.
For
I actually
purchasing 8.
I still don't own a physical copy of that, but that game is now $20 used.
Yeah,
And you could probably get it for $20 brand new.
probably.
For the select version. But then you also have to contest with another one of that. So the number 2 best-selling game on the system is Super Mario 3D World, 5.78 million. Then it's New Super Mario Brothers U, 5.7. New Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, 5.3. Nintendo Land, which is a pack-in for part of the console's lifespan, 5.1. Splatoon, 4.9. So
Well.
Yeah, I never got around to buying Splatoon.
I didn't either.
Because by the time I'm like, I want to pick up Splatoon. Like, Splatoon 2 is coming out. I'm like, oh. And then I haven't bought it either. I haven't had the money. Super Mario Maker, 4 million. New Super Luigi U, 3.03. Zelda Wind Waker, 2.2. Mario Party 10, 2.1. And then we start going down from there. Wii Party U, 1.5. Yoshi's Woolly World, 1.3. And then, there's only 2 more. Well, 3 more. Breath of the Wild, Zelda, 1.08. Hyrule Warriors, and then Pocket Tournament, both $1 million apiece.
Huh.
What was a common theme with all those games?
All Nintendo.
All Nintendo.
All Nintendo.
100% Nintendo. So, first game we're going to look at, now that we've gotten past all those, Super Mario Maker. This is a reason to get this console.
Well, you can get on 3DS now.
It's not as good.
No, I agree.
It is not as good. This game lets you create games and play through created games in the style of the original Super Mario Brothers, the old 8-bit, Super Mario Brothers 3, still 8-bit, Super Mario World, 16-bit, or the new Super Mario Brothers U. And with this package, which I'm sure everybody should hopefully still have, you get your game and you get your little guidebook. This guidebook almost literally has no words. It's all pictures and showing you how to do stuff. Really basic. It's really easy to pick up, really easy to learn how to create stuff, and then you will find some of the most whacked out, created stuff you're ever going to see in a Mario game created by these guys.
A lot of people made the quite literal, you have to use the invincibility to cross areas when you shrink.
Yes.
It is insane to watch.
You're licking my ear, doggy. Knock it off.
I love you.
He does love me.
He wants to kiss you. Sorry.
He did earlier, gosh darn it. All right. Another game. Talked about it already. One of the best third-party games to get, Batman Arkham Knight Armored Edition. Unfortunately, the first game is not available on the console. Arkham Origins is. So you have 2 Batman Arkham games on there. Of course, this one is the one developed by Rocksteady. This is the better one of the 2 by far. The story in this one is second to none. This one has actually some pretty cool gamepad implementation. So you can use the gamepad now for an investigation mode. And you actually also have they put in when you do the pause menu, bring up the map and everything. Instead of it just bringing up a different screen, he brings up his arm, and it's like a computer on his arm. So like the gamepad is like the computer. This is a port, yes, but they actually put some more stuff into it. You also get these new gauntlets. Where you build them up through combos.
Yeah, your kinetic energy.
Yeah, and then you charge them. This also includes all the previously DLC, the Harley Quinn's Revenge, Catwoman pack, Nightwing bundle, Robin bundle, Challenge Map pack, and Arkham City Skins pack. You can't go wrong with this version. I've played it. It is good. It plays great. It's a great version of the game to get.
Yeah.
All these games just kind of fell over. Where should we go next?
I don't know. I can't see the box.
All right, so we're going to go with a couple years.
Okay.
Pikmin 3.
I love Pikmin.
Pikmin's fun, man. I didn't bring Pikmin 3 because I was bringing so many games already. And I think out of all the Pikmin, I think this one is my least favorite. I remember I played the original one. It was on GameCube.
Yeah.
And
I think it's expensive.
It is now.
Yeah.
But I picked this up too. The cool thing is that this game was expensive. You remember episode 2 of our podcast was called We Love the Wii U. We complained about how much Pikmin was. Pikmin 3 was expensive as crap. So, since this version came out, the Nintendo Selects version, which is $20.
I bought it when it came out.
I went out and I got a used copy of the game with the original label for $15.
Yeah.
So we got that one.
I couldn't find the original, so I went and got
Rodea, the Sky Soldier. So this game, I believe, was a continuation of a game that was originally supposed to come out on the Dreamcast.
If I am right, it should be a 2-disc of the original intended in that.
So when the game was being made, it was originally in development for the Wii.
Yeah.
So you have both versions included in this because they went ahead and released it on the Wii U, so you can play the Wii U version or the original Wii version. And the cool thing is, so you have your Wii U box art. They also have a reversible cover.
Yeah.
For the Wii. The only difference is that the box is still the Wii U box. But if you have a spare white box laying around, if you care that much, you can actually split these up into 2 different copies. Well, no, you can't. You can photocopy it. You can photocopy it to have 2 copies. Well, here's one of your games that I can tell because you don't clean your stickers off, right?
I know.
Shovel Knight. I actually forgot you had this. I wanted to bring it.
So that game is freaking hard.
It is hard. I actually have the full manual too.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish I had. But.
I think I bought mine brand new. Shovel Knight is a hard but awesome game. This game is a cool old school style game.
It is
in the vein of Mega Man, in the vein of DuckTales remaster, but of the old DuckTales games where you can hop on like the cane as Scrooge. Shovel Knight's great, and it's available for other consoles as well.
Yes, but I wanted it specifically for that console.
Well, as did I. And you can also get a Shovel Knight amiibo.
Yeah. Which I do not have.
The Wonderful 101. This game was a Nintendo exclusive, and it's out there. It was developed by Platinum Games, and you play as like superheroes, a whole bunch of them, as you go through levels and combine to create big fists, and like you end up like going through the. It's funny, it's quirky, it has that Nintendo weirdness to it, and I just feel like it's something that never really got off the ground. Really, and no pun with it being a superhero.
Yeah.
But fun game. It is fun. It's quirky, but pretty fun. I wonder how loud that is in the...
I don't know. Go.
Yoshi's Woolly World. I had to get this because the wife made me do it.
Yeah.
And then I think I played it more than she has.
Yep, me too.
It's a fun game.
It is.
In a way, I kind of feel like they took, and it's a Wii game that we didn't even mention, Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
And that's actually coming to the 3DS. But I feel like, in a way, even though it's different, maybe there was some, like, well, we did the yarn thing. What about wool? But, like, the way that they utilize, like, the whole the engineering and mechanics of all that kind of stuff with the unraveling and
it's pretty cool.
Throwing balls of yarn. It's interesting.
It is.
All right.
Going with the big boy.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have the collector's edition.
Jelly.
I picked this up right after I came to Day Shift in 2015.
Yep.
I remember I actually pre-ordered this from the Devil's Playground in the mall, GameStop. And I went in to pick this up after work because I could actually do that. And I didn't have to come in early.
Yeah.
And the dude, I walked in. The dude's like, "How can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm here to pick up, Xenoblade Chronicles X." No, actually, I said, "I'm here to pick up a pre-order." He goes, "Let me guess, Rainbow Six." And I went, And the dude goes, "Let me check." And he looked up my account. And he goes, "Xenoblade." The dude goes, "That's who that is." I was the one of like 2 people who ordered the big collector's edition to that store. So, Mike, you played more of this game than I did.
I did.
What do you think?
I liked it, but I didn't like it. The story is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. The story is great, but it's like an open world style game, and it makes you think that it's an action RPG, but it's not. You can't dodge attacks.
Right.
So you literally could just stand there and do like turn-based attacks with it. I always played and like acted like I was dodging the attacks. It never worked, but it was fun. I need to complete it. I am basically right at the end.
So this collector's edition comes with like an art book, a collective lithograph, and a memory stick.
Easy.
As I hit my mic. But listen to this.
It's metal.
That thing is heavy.
Yeah.
That thing is hardcore.
It's pretty cool. How big is it?
That I don't know. It does not say how big it is. Oh, that's just not any USB drive. That has the digital soundtrack on it.
Ha!
Well, what a do.
Man, you know, it's so heavy. I would be afraid to put it in.
Well, because look at, because it like
it's not a full
out.
USB port. It's a halvesy.
Mm-hmm.
They're very flimsy. Man, I'd be afraid to put that in there.
I think I haven't even put it in anywhere. Maybe I did when I first got it.
I'd be afraid.
I forgot that had the soundtrack on it. As I try to get this box back in there. I got it back in there once, gosh darn it.
All right. Fumble with it. Screw it.
Another big box. I have
Yes.
Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD remake.
One of my favorite games right there. I played the crap out of this. It's probably one of my top. It's probably number 3 on my list of Zeldas, and I played the crap out of that game.
I have the big box with the amiibo.
So do I.
So like, and this is how I keep it. I didn't take the amiibo out and display it. I just kept it right there in a box.
Technically, mine's in the box on display.
Right. Yeah. Great game. Fantastic game. And it looks great on the remaster.
Yes. Just grab and go.
Mass Effect 3. Special edition.
Surprised this guy owns it.
Do I need to own it?
No.
But I do. So Mass Effect 3, this is not the version of the game to get. Version of this game to get is on the Xbox 360 or the PS3 or PC. The reason why I say that, this game comes equipped with some DLC on it. But it doesn't include all of it. And also, they never released any more on the system. Like, so you can't go in to the Wii U and download the other DLC that they did.
What a shame.
This has the extended cut right off the bat, right?
Yep.
And I want to say it might have From Ashes in on it, which includes the character of Javik. I don't think it has, like, it might have Leviathan on it, but I don't think it has, it doesn't say anything on there about it. I've been looking as I've been talking. It doesn't have Omega, or it definitely doesn't have Citadel, because those were released after. So I think Omega was released slightly before that came out, and it didn't make the disc. But maybe Leviathan is on there. Now that is the only you only get Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U. You don't get 1 or 2. So you download an interactive comic to finish off the story for you. You have to make all the decisions in Mass Effect 1 and 2. It guides you right through it, and then you start Mass Effect 3. Now, the gameplay is kind of neat. It puts the map and powers that you can select onto the gamepad. I played a little bit of it. It plays just fine. There's no issues with the way it plays. It also had online mode on it.
Yeah.
But just like the single player DLC, the online mode that came out was the online mode around the time this got released. So there were characters and modes and stuff like that came out even somewhat before this came out that never made this version.
Right.
So I don't even think this has the collectors in it for the online mode.
Wow.
It's disappointing. I did try the online mode, I think.
And the collectors sucked.
Yeah, they did.
Good Lord.
Dude, yeah. But I absolutely am a Mass Effect fiend. It's my favorite game series of the modern generations.
Yeah.
That's especially the ones that started on like the 360 PS3 era. It's my favorite series of that era. So when I was collecting for the Wii U and this was on it, guess what? Got it. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm just doing stuff now. Bayonetta 2. Formerly exclusive to the Wii U. Now, this is now on the Switch.
Yeah.
And you can get it there. The cool thing about it is that early copies of this game included a bonus disc, which includes Bayonetta 1. If you never played it like me and didn't play a single one before this one came out, you get 1 and 2 in the same box. Not a bad little deal. This was made by Platinum Games. Yep, made by Platinum Games, published by Sega. And it's exclusive to Nintendo. Bayonetta 1 isn't. So,
yeah.
Bayonetta 2, 1 and 2 are now both on Switch. Fun games. Very over-the-top, Devil May Cry-ish type games. Fun. Just fun. Not every single game needs to be that deep, overpowering story. It doesn't need to be that. Sometimes you just need to sit back and have some fun.
Yep. I agree. What we got left?
Speaking of that, sitting back and having some fun, this is one of my favorites in my collection. NES Remix Pack 1 and 2. So this will take aspects of some games and mix them in with some other games. And it's basically mini games, and you're doing challenges. And they'll start mixing stuff up around on you.
Yeah.
So, you'll have to go through a level, and you have to collect so many coins for Mario. And then that's it. Then you go on to the next challenge. And it'll be another game. It'll be like Excite Bike. And then you're like, okay, then what's this one? All right. So what all games are included? So for the first one, you have Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, the original Mario Brothers, Balloon Fight, Excite Bike, Ice Climber, Golf, Baseball, Tennis, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Pinball, Clue Land. Got to be careful saying that one. Urban Champion and Wrecking Crew. Then the NES Remix 2 has Mario Brothers 3, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Adventure of Link, Punch-Out, Ice Hockey, Dr. Mario, Mario Brothers 2, Wario's Woods, Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels, NES Open Tournament Golf, and Kirby's Adventure. You can also compete in the Nintendo World Championships Remix. And you can also have the original Mario Brothers reversed. You play the whole level in reverse.
Huh.
And you play as Luigi.
Tell me he runs backwards. Please tell me he runs backwards.
I don't think so. However, great physical thing to get. I think you can get this for $20 for both of them. These were downloadable only at first. Then they released physical copies of them. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. My copy of this got damaged somehow, and I don't know how.
Kid.
No, I got this before I got the kid. Cat. My cat got a hold of this.
Of course it was a cat.
This game's hard. This game is freaking hard. This is old school Donkey Kong Country, and it's hard. My wife was like, let's play that. And then she's like, I don't want to play that. This just got ported to the Switch. It's got an easy mode on it now.
Yeah,
too.
I say they got the Surfer Dude. That's the easy mode.
And he can't die. Last game that I had to show for the Wii U. Breath of the Wild.
So that's pretty much a collector thing now because everybody that has a Switch has Breath. And it is designed originally for
the Wii U.
For the Wii U. So we both decided we weren't going to get a Switch for a little bit, and we wanted to have it in its original, where it was originally dreamt to be.
Right. Well, that's where I got it because I wasn't ready to get the new Switch console yet.
And we both got it on day one, I believe.
I did. You were a little bit. No, you were after me because you had Horizon.
That's right. So I waited to finish Horizon.
The first time that you played this was on the Switch with Rob.
Negative.
Negative?
I beat that on this before I ever touched that. I put all my money on it because I said I'm waiting to replay that until I get a Switch.
I don't know.
I'm 100%. I will back that with that 100%.
Because you didn't have this. Because you borrowed my copy, right?
No, I bought my own.
You bought your own.
And then I played it once all the way through, the full story. And then I said...
But you were still playing Horizon when
Right.
Rob brought his Switch over, so you hadn't even played this yet.
I hadn't.
So the first time you played it was on the Switch.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Well, I didn't play it as long as you did.
Well, no.
I played it and I was like, oh, cool, the controls. You're like, give me that.
Really, we all played it.
Let's say technically, yeah.
But, I mean, the first time you ever played it was on the Switch. I had already put some time into this on the Wii U. And then you bought the Wii U version as well.
Yeah.
Yes, this is collectible. And I'm trying to find out how many copies on the Switch that it is sold. Let's see here. Nintendo president Tatsumi Kimishima, yeah, good luck with that one,
Sorry.
said that the attach rate of Breath of the Wild to the Switch was unprecedented. By June of 2018, the Switch version has sold 9.32 million copies.
So 9 times what it sold on the U.
Yeah. Wii U is at 1.5, so... Oh, smack my microphone stand, but
So not exactly.
so this
9,
eventually, okay. There are people out there who are predicting that Wii U collecting is going to be the most expensive Nintendo console to collect for.
I believe it.
Right now, it's cheap because nobody cares.
Yep.
But in 10 years, when everybody looks back and go, "Oh yeah, that one," and because they think about it, only 13 million of these were sold. Think about the screens going bad.
Yeah.
What do you need to even get this to work?
That.
They didn't make any large extra screens like they did for like all those thousands upon thousands of Game Boy Advance screens.
Yep.
If your battery goes dead and you're going to have this plugged in all the time.
Yep.
If it won't charge, you're going to have that plugged in all the time to play.
Do they sell? I'm sure they sell.
You can find batteries. You can even buy a bigger battery, but those are now getting harder to find. And those are only released in Europe. So
yeah.
A few years ago they were easier to get. Now they're getting harder to find. But I think Breath of the Wild is going to be an expensive game to get on the Wii U.
Yep.
Because it's on the lower spectrum of like number of copies available. So I'm super glad that we both have it because I'm not ever getting rid of it.
No, I'm not either.
That's going to be
Ever.
a holy grail for that system.
Yep.
Because of how good it is, even though the game is widely available on the other console.
Yep.
The number of copies for that version will go up. So,
To me, that's one of the best. That is the best Zelda game ever put out. That's very arguable, and I agree with everybody on the argument.
yeah.
But for me, as a game, they took that open world and they said, well, let's just sprinkle some Nintendo love on it, and boom, it's a phenomenal game.
It was a excellent close, just like the Twilight Princess came out for both GameCube and Wii.
Yeah.
And how Breath came out for both Wii U. and Switch, it was the best closing game you could ask for on the Wii U, but the game that the Switch needed.
Yes.
So therefore, it's like the Wii U for me is such a underutilized piece of hardware, and a lot of it has to do with what we said at the beginning. People thought it was an add-on. The name itself killed it.
It's
Wii U.
Nintendo's fault for poor marketing.
They could have called this thing anything else they wanted to.
Yep.
And it would have probably done better.
But you got to look at their perspective. They're coming off the coattails of
the original Wii.
I'd say is that that's their highest selling console ever.
They could have 13 failures in a row.
Yeah.
Switch could have bombed. And people would be like, "Oh my God, Nintendo's gonna die." They aren't dying. They made so much money during the Wii era that made them untouchable for generations.
Yes.
So for anybody who's crying for them to go to third party, anybody who's crying for them to give up and just make games for the other consoles, they're not going to do that
ever.
They don't see a reason to, because for every failure that you have, like the Wii U, a big massive failure like the Wii makes up for like 15 of these.
Yeah.
And the sales are right there in it.
Yep.
I mean, like the Switch, I don't think the Switch is going to be Wii level of success, but it's going to be a good bouncing point.
Right.
To kind of come back.
What I'm saying is that they came off of that awesome era of that. And they're like, well, let's just make the Wii U. They're going to know what it is. It's a Wii. We're hoping that they'll buy it because it's a Wii. And we sold so many of them. And then they didn't market it right.
Well, and then when you go, think about your core audience. Because the Wii was marketed towards grandmas and uncles and aunts.
Yep.
And these old people who never play games.
Yep.
Okay? And then there's some games on there for your hardcore gamers to fall in love with. Sure. But then the Wii U, that same market, the grandmas, the aunts, the uncles, they're not going to buy the Wii U.
Right.
They don't care anymore. They've long not cared. Just like I said, 2009 and on, nobody cared. The fad was over. At that point, stop with that mindset and move on to the next thing. That's why I think this console comes out in 2010, marketed towards a hardcore gamer, does better. Because what happens when they market the Switch, what is the first commercial you see? You see college kids at parties playing it. You see all adults playing the console before you ever saw a kid playing it.
Yep.
And let's be honest, most of the games that are Nintendo made are very kid friendly.
Yes.
Most. So there is their core audience, right? But they know how many people grew up with Nintendo, with NES, with SNES, with Nintendo 64.
Yep.
With the Wii. How old are they now? Well, they're 10, 15, 20, 25 years old. Well, there's our target market.
Yep.
Because right there. So, and it's evident with the success of that. And within just the marketing itself.
Yep.
So that about wraps up not only our retrospectives on the Wii and the Wii U, which was so much fun to sit here and talk about and dissect, but also wraps up this episode of the Game Addicts podcast. It's one of our longer ones in a while.
It is.
But this was in a momentous occasion. When episode 100 doesn't happen every day, every week.
No.
But episode 101 will be next week, and it will be one day later. We are going to be getting together on Thursday because Wednesday, as we normally record and go live, it's Halloween, and I'm taking my kid trick-or-treating.
Yeah, and I'm going to be not playing Fallout 76.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Well,
thanks, Bethesda.
You just ruined all your plans. Maybe come with me. You might get some candy.
No, I'm not going trick-or-treating with you and your kid.
I'll share. He's not going to eat it all.
No.
What? Okay.
Are you coming here?
We might. I don't know.
Since you got like the big three neighborhoods.
I don't know. But, all right. So next week on Thursday, we're going to go live, and the audio version for the podcasting, all those podcast apps that we're on, the audio is going to go up live Thursday night as soon as we're done. It's not going to be scheduled for the next day. It's going to go live that night. Back to it. Last thing for the show. episode 100, the biggest question I have to ask you.
What is this?
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh.
Put you on the spot.
Ooh. Like Halloween specific candy? Or just candy in general? Because I feel like...
If you went trick-or-treating, what would be the piece of candy that you got that would just make your day?
I really like the bite-size Twix and Milky Ways. Those are almost the perfect size to enjoy them. I would have to say the Twix is my number one.
So
Don't say candy corn.
No. Every year I eat a little bit of candy corn. I haven't this year yet. And then I'm good for like about a handful. They give you so much in a bag. And then I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. But so I'm going to go off the beaten path here for just a minute. My aunt used to make popcorn balls.
Huh.
And you would have regular popcorn, and I don't know what she would use, but she would like mold it into like a ball, and you would just almost like a candy apple, but it's popcorn ball.
Ooh, that's what I forgot.
Candy apple.
Apples.
I
The
love them.
actual candy apples,
Right?
not the little suckers.
No, not the sucker.
I want an apple
Yeah,
smothered in caramel.
and I love them, but they're hard on my teeth.
They are. But God, they're so good.
Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Game Addicts Podcast, episode 100. Thank you, each and every person who watched live on Twitch and celebrated with us. We thank you so much for tuning in, each and every single one of you. It touches us right here, right down here in the cockles of our hearts. And, of course, this episode, if you missed it, if you're, guess what? Well, if you missed it, if you're coming in right here late and you're like, I missed the show, what am I going to do? It's going to be over there on the YouTubes, on our YouTube channel. Just search Game Addicts Podcast. Of course, the link is down below on our Twitch profile. Go over there and subscribe. This show will get up over there. And also on podcast services around the world tomorrow morning, Thursday. It goes up both on YouTube and the audio places as well. All those links, everything is down below. Check us out on social media, Game Addicts Play, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all the same. Last of all, if you liked what you saw, please follow us here on on Twitch. We're trying to grow the following here on Twitch. We're going to be doing a live Extra Life charity stream next Saturday, November 3rd, 12 hours, 8 to 8 at least. And we're going to be getting you guys the sort of finalized list of games, since we probably won't be playing Fallout 76 because they've decided to do the beta. It's kind of weird and different. So,
yeah,
be that as it may, please tune in on Sunday. We should be together on Facebook Live for Game Addicts Plus. We're probably going to be diving into some more news, which we didn't talk about today.
Should be together.
Yeah, it should be together. And we're going to be testing out our setup for the Extra Life stream, which will be right here on Twitch. That being said, until next week, here on the podcast, episode 101 next week, I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
Game on, guys. Have a good one. See you later. Be safe. Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby. You wanted to say it so bad, I saw it.
Baby.
Baby.